Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join me today again on the Chelsea perspective for another transfer news watch. You can say just call it another Chelsea news. And today we have a few items lined up to talk about. There aren't too many. There aren't too many of them, but chances are we'll talk a lot about items we have lined up to speak about today. But I urge you all to please try as much as you can. If you'd like me to read your comments, be sure that your comment is aligned with the current topic. Otherwise, I will assume that you're having a conversation with a fellow community member in the chat. And the reason being, as much as I like to interact with you, it can be tiring to be switching between topics like that. We'll talk about Benjamin Sesko. We'll talk about Ivan Toney. We'll also talk about Conor Gallagher. And chances are, as the show progresses, some other items will pop up and we will most likely address them. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. And Constantin Dante was in the house because he excused himself. He's saying, not sure we'll make it this time. Sleeping. Have a great show. Big up to everyone. Big up to you too, brother. But thank you for stopping by to say hello to us. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go along. We sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Big up to you too, Chelsea Mitchell. Nice to see you, Michi. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. You know what to do. And if you haven't, please click on the three dots by his name where it says visit YouTube channel. Go to his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves all that. I think Casadei will be replacing Gallagher. That's an argument I've seen, but to me, it doesn't make sense in too many ways. We'll talk about that in a bit. It seems that the board rates Gallagher at it's about the manager, not really about the board. I keep smashing the like button, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And quickly, I want to appeal to those of you who are following the show, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the show, in the chat. Just know that we sincerely do appreciate you. And that's because you watching alone does go a long way. But we want to ask you for one more favor, one tiny beauty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the video for us. That's because when we the more likes we garner, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push the stream to more people who'll be interested in the topics we'll have lined up. Please do us that favor. It takes just half a second to drop a like on the stream. We want you to please do that for us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just 1 second here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Just a few seconds here. More than a second now. One sec. Hey, there you go. We're there. Let's go for it. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's see what else we have here. What next that we have? And Vic Namaya, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining the show. And Vic is in the house. Nice to see you, Vic. Big up to you, my brother. Let's see anybody else. We might sell next week or upper week. Let's find out what happens. So there's still, you can say, but we're halfway through, more than halfway through the transfer window. Big up to you too, Maya. Nice to see you, Maya. Appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And holla to you too, Ty. Appreciate you finding the time to join the show. You know what to do. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's see anything else we have to address here. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let me see. Nothing new has emerged. Let's see. Let's go with the items we have lined up here. Just let's start addressing the first items immediately without wasting up much of your time. I think this is the particular window here, and this is the first item, which says Chelsea believes that Cesare Casadei has huge potential and can help the squad with immediate effect, which was why he was called back. His loan was terminated, and he's now back with the club. Here's the thing. I've always known that if any of the two players, him and Andrea Sanchez, will make it into the first 11, he'd be the first. Because I'd say he has more to his game, but it's easy to overlook his potentials because he's not as commanding as she could do in terms of pointing. You say that sort of leadership quality that you see in Andrea Santos. He's not into pointing to his teammates to say go there, go there, go there. But I think he has more to his game. And we're gonna get into the argument with regards to Chelsea fans are arguing that his return means the end of Conor Gallagher. I'd say that's absolute horse doo-doo, in my opinion. Just give me a second. I need to respond to something quickly here. But if you're in the chat, let's hear you. Where do you think he fits? It's easy to start talking about how he's been called back. Where do you think he fits? For me, I think he's more he's capable of fulfilling the Enzo Fernandez role, but I need to see more of that. I can't quite say. I'm not too sure really, but if anything, I'll start with saying he's capable of fulfilling the Enzo Fernandez role, which I like to call a hybrid of 8 and a 6. He's a highly technical, gifted player. He has good vision, good passing range in him. He's still very young, but believe me, he's that good, so good that even Juve, you can say, tested the waters. They reached out to see if would be willing to let him join them on loan with an option for a permanent purchase. That's to show you how good the kid is. Okay, let's see. Just give me 1 second. Let me take care of something here. All right, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Let's hear you. Just responding to Namaya Fawale there. Casadei plays 8, so I see why they recalled him. And he's an excellent player in my opinion. Age for me, I think if you see him play, I've watched him on occasions play for Leicester City, and I think he got to play more because Wilfred Ndidi got injured. Because he's been switching places with Wilfred Ndidi. Whenever Ndidi isn't playing, you can be certain he's on the pitch playing for Leicester City, and he gave a good account of himself. He got a few goals, and let me see if I can find his stats and statistics here just quickly. To me, there's a lot more to his game than Andrea Santos, but you could argue they differ in so many ways. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. He fits the Enzo role because Enzo now is giving us injury problems. Enzo, I'm not too concerned about him getting injured. If anything, I'm concerned that we've overplayed him, and the problem is on occasions when he hasn't played, we've struggled. So to me, I think Casadei is capable of fulfilling that role. Connie Chukwuemeka is also capable of fulfilling that role. But I wouldn't want to see Casadei in the 10 role. I'd rather see Connie Chukwuemeka, who you could argue is more equipped to play in the 10 role than him. But it's difficult to say what Mauricio Pochettino would do, in my opinion. And that's because he's predictably unpredictable, in my opinion. I'm going to take my time to find his statistics. Let's see. But just the top stats, maybe goals and assists and all that. Cesare Casadei. Stats, just give me a few seconds there. Let me see if I can find one. Wow, 23-24. He played 22 games in total for Leicester City. Scored 2 goals and has 1 yellow card, 0 red card. To me, that's excellent. Actually, EFL Cup, he played twice and has 1 assist in the EFL Cup. Not bad at all, given that he didn't play consistently for them. Always only comes on whenever Ndidi wasn't playing, when Ndidi was still fit. I think he has it in him, and hopefully he gets a chance. But I wouldn't want a situation where he only gets to play here and there. That could lead to him wanting to leave the club, because he's a talent, and there aren't shortage of clubs willing to sign him on a permanent. You can say the only advantage to us is that he's probably signed until 2049, if you understand what I mean. Big up to you, Joshua Dan. Nice to see you. Sincerely do appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining. Maya, just having a conversation there. Let's see. Good evening. Good evening to you too, Desmond Murathai. Nice to see you. I can't complain. I hope you're good too. Updates apart from because today we'll get to them. Just relax. So let's hear you. Any thoughts? Where do you think he fits? Where do you think he fits? I think a lot of people will be asking that question right now. Because I get it. Some you could argue the most viable argument would be that Leslie Guchiku will be out for a while, and that's most likely the reason why the club decided to terminate his loan spell at Leicester City. I would have let him finish the season there, in my opinion. We have Andreas Santos back. I would have suggested let him finish the season, except if the manager, maybe the managers looked at the players available to him and is sure that he will get enough game time to continue his development, then I'll take it. But I don't want a situation where he comes back at his age and he only plays every you can say once every after 4 games or so. And he's just let me just make sure he's just 21, so he needs to be playing. I don't want us to be out of selfishness to bring him back because we need numbers in that in the midfield area, not necessarily because he gets to play. I don't want that to be the situation because he's too, you can say, too good of a talent to come to and sit on the bench just for the sake of it. I don't think it makes any sort of sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So let's hear you. Where do you think Connie is going to play? Connie can also play fulfill the hybrid of 8 and 6 role, and he's also capable of playing in the 10 role. He has good vision. He can be rotating with Enzo Fernandez because I don't want us to overplay Enzo and end up, you could say, what's the language I'm looking for? Burning him out. That would be an issue. But let's see. I'm not too sure what the manager does. As Roger will say, Mauricio Pochettino is predictably unpredictable. So until he has all the players available to him for selection, that's when we get to understand who does what. Right now, I'm not too sure. Let's see. But nice to see you, Tobias. I hope you're doing well. Big up, my fellow TOAM guy. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much. And GFC Gavin, nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. GFC Gavin has shared the link to his YouTube channel. Please go check it out. Let's help him grow. Let's see what else we have here. Connie probably going to play in the 10 role since Chile is playing left wing and Palma right wing. Connie, I don't like to see him on the flanks. Connie is better utilized in the central area. You can play him as what I call hybrid of 8 and 6 as a deep line playmaker. He has that vision. If you take your time to go watch replays of the games he's played for us, even the one he played under Frank Lampard, I think that was in the Champions League. I can't quite remember. Was it in the Champions League? I can't quite remember. He has that vision to sense that where the ball, again, to sense, you can say, to decide when to switch the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. That is to avoid crowded areas on the pitch. And he has good passes in him. I think probably more of a deep line playmaker than a 10 for me, but he's also equipped to play in the 10 role, but never on the flanks. I haven't seen him play on the flanks before. Maybe he has. I really do not know. Nkunku and Kopama are central attacking midfielders, and Poch uses Carney in a cam role. Would love to see Carney as a left center midfield or a central midfielder. Let's find out what the club does. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Not really fascinated by Chelsea's transfer this window. Don't know why. Igugu, it's a question you've asked yourself. You have to figure out the answer by yourself. Enzo as a central attacking midfielder, that hasn't worked. And I'm going to explain. Here's the thing, please. I'm going to say this again quickly as I can. Please try to stick to the current topic. You have every right to have a good conversation with a fellow community member, but I urge you to please, I'm only human. Switching between this, it can be tiring, and I don't want to go through that process. So keep the topics aligned. If you want me to address or read your comments in the chat, keep it aligned. You have every right to have a conversation with a fellow community member, but if you're flip-flopping between topics, I'm going to skip your topic. Assuming I assume maybe you're having a conversation with someone there. Please be fair to me. As much as I like to interact with you, I urge you to please keep the topics aligned. That will help me sustain my energy. And and that hasn't worked. And here's why that doesn't make sense. Enzo is more of a deep line playmaker than anything else. the more he sees the pitch, the more effective it be. The less he sees the pitch, the less effective it be. He'll still be effective in the number 10 role, but not as effective as it be if you play him, deploy him in a deeper position with the independence to be where he deems fit on the pitch. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I won't be surprised seeing Connie as a CDM. I don't think that happens. I think the manager should know better than that. We might buy Benjamin Sesko. Let's see what happens there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And Kelechi Nwankwo, I know the meaning of both names, so I appreciate that so much. My fellow Nigerian, let me just be broad, not to you can say alienate my other Nigerian brothers. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Are we signing any strikers this window? There's no way to tell. But chances are signing a striker, you can say, should be let's just put it this way. Signing a striker should be one of the club's top priorities. Do I think would sign one this window? There's a chance that happens, but I'm not too certain about that, and that's because we've heard them say, as much as we want to sign a striker, we're not so much in a hurry to do that. So which means they'll be cautious. So I'm gonna get to the very bottom, and from then on, if your topic isn't aligned with the current topic, whatever you have there isn't aligned with the current topic, I'd skip it. And just for my sake, I'd like to be as energetic as I can be throughout the whole show and not get tired halfway because I'm switching from one topic to the other. And big up to my bro JC. Time to join the show. Let's see what else we have here. I hear on social media that Leicester City fans are happy that we are taking off Casadei off them. Apparently, he wasn't doing very well at Leicester City. I don't believe that. He's done really well for them, in my opinion. Casadei, he's an excellent player. Casadei assisted to Nkunku wasn't in preseason, or Nicholas Jackson, beautiful through ball. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I like Casadei when he's confident up, feels powerful. He's a big lad, a big boy, big small boy there, for lack of a better language. Hopefully he gets a chance to play. And I've explained the reason why I just don't want us to bring him back for selfish reasons. And at 21, he needs to be playing. I'm not saying week in, week out. I'm not saying he should be starting every game, but I'm saying at least he should be playing enough. He should be getting enough game time to continue developing, because there's such a talent in him. And I get it. He's probably contracted to Chelsea until 2049. But if he wants to leave, he had to leave. He will get his way. And that's because there are no shortage of clubs interested in signing Casadei. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. And my bro here is saying, just join. What is the topic? We're talking about Casadei right now. We'll take them one by one. And, Maya, just having a conversation there. And Maya, thank you for helping out and reminding Mr. Nwankwo of the current topic. And Zamaro is saying, hi, coach. In the Blues family, Casadei is a workaholic and Sord is a forward. Yep, he's a good ball carrier, creating more chances for strikers. And he does score goals too. He has goals in him to score with his good passes and game switching. Chelsea is on the rise. The boys are okay. I'm not sure I understand the final part of your sentence of your comment there, but here's the thing. Hopefully the case is that we're taking our time to look at our current squad and look at it, then consider and the manager considered his profile and came to the conclusion that we do need him, which means he gets to play. I'm not expecting him to start week in, week out, but let him be playing enough to continue developing, because he's that good. Let's see what else we have here. Nice to see you, Nacho17. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Man City is getting relegated. I'm just gonna say that is based on someone's opinion. I get it. I have the respect for the guy who said that because he's you can say he's an expert. So people do you can say believe people do believe what he said about with regards to Manchester City's situation with the FA, but I'm not too sure that's going to be the case. The case, first of all, will linger for nearly 1,000 years before we get to hear what sort of punishment they'd face. But we'll find out. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Be with the likes. Do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's hear you in the blue. Tough again, Coach. Why are you criticizing the comment section again? You are reading too slow because you're looking for the toppings. I am watching you. Just go away. And this is for you, really. That's clearly because I don't like you, and you know that. Much appreciated. Casadei needs a playing time. If he cannot be played, please, he should be sent on loan again. He needs playing time. And yeah, and I'm going to say that quickly. He needs to be playing. And I'm going to say this again. There aren't a shortage of clubs are willing to take him on a permanent. Yeah, if he decides he wants to leave Chelsea, he's that good. He's that good. You could say he's no different from when what's the star? This guy that plays for Italy played for Inter Milan. We wanted to sign under Antonio Conte, and we heard last two transfer windows that if at any time he decides to leave Inter Milan, his preferred destination will be Chelsea Football Club. Gosh, how did I forget his name? I like him so much. Actually, he's as good as the guy was at the time when he was at his age. So he's such a talent, and I'm quite sure we didn't just hopefully we didn't just call him back for the sake of being selfish or just making up the squad number, but he gets to play. Casadei is training with the first team squad. Yeah, we called him back with the papers. I can see Casadei and Casado with Cole Palmer ahead in the central attacking midfield role. Let's see you, Jerry. See, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you. Sincerely do appreciate that. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Keep dropping likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Chelsea believes Casadei has huge potential and can help the squad immediately. That's music to my ears. And that's because, yeah, I like him. And I actually didn't know we were going to let him go out on loan after the preseason, given how well he did at the time. Keep dropping likes on the stream. Jerry Z, you know what to do when you get a chance to share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Let's go! All right, let's hear you. How would you feel? Let me just be as specific as I can here. That this is saying Robert Sanchez confirms he's closer to returning to returning, nearly there. The question I want to ask you is this: from what you've seen so far, how many games has Petrovic played? I think Sanchez in total has played more. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't taken my time to do that calculate well and to do the calculations and find out which of the goalkeepers has played more games for Chelsea. But I think they've played probably an equal amount of games right now. If anything, Sanchez would have played a bit more than what's his name than Georgi Petrovic. But here's the question: given what you've seen so far, if it were up to you, which of the goalkeepers would you keep as you can say choose as number one? I'd go with Petrovic in my opinion for so many reasons. That's not me saying that saying Sanchez is a bad goalkeeper. He did well, and considering the fact that he hadn't played for a while for Brighton before we signed him, I'd give him credit given how he after game became a better. The more he played, the better he became. But Petrovic, wow, you could say for me, I'd choose him in a heartbeat if I have to choose between the two of them. He looks calmer on the ball and doesn't take unnecessary risk. And I've seen something. I've read a few articles online to the effect of Pochettino will find it difficult to drop Petrovic, and I think yeah. And if he does, I think he'd have questions to answer, especially if Sanchez comes in and doesn't do as well as Petrovic had done in his absence. So I want to hear you. What would you do? For me, Petrovic, even though he probably most likely he hasn't played as much as Sanchez has played, I think I'd still say yeah, it's him for me. I think he's better in terms of distribution. Makes quicker decisions than Sanchez. Than I've seen Sanchez make, and he's also come off his line on occasions to ensure that we don't concede. So he has that sweeper keeper ability in him, which I've never seen Sanchez do since. Again, at the time, you can say when he was the one guarding the sticks for us. I don't think he has a sweeper keeper ability yet to see that myself. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. It's a great prospect. Yeah. That a prospect is the language that makes me you say that made me say if there wouldn't be if he won't be will not you say get enough game time at Chelsea, we should just let him stay. Just would be better of letting him stay on loan, go out on loan. That's because he's such a talent that if he senses that he's not going to be playing as much as he would want to, he would push to leave, and there won't be shortage of clubs looking to take him on a permanent. Sorry, I can't speak this morning. Zumala, apologies, coach. I meant that the Chelsea boys, as hot as Chiles, stay all gelling well over time. You don't need to apologize. These things happen to all of us. Nobody is perfect. Let's see. Kindly like and subscribe, people. Go check out Blue Ball Analysis that Jerry sees. That's Jerry Z's YouTube channel. He says that just hosted a compelling show featuring Tiger Beast where he shared his insightful analysis. So go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and watch the show. Drop a like for him. Let's help him grow. Show will be published on Monday. Okay, I can't wait for it to be published. That play, okay, play Sanchez and Petrovic. Okay, your first choice, I'm guessing. Let's see. Now, guys, Sanchez makes gang mistakes. That Arsenal game, I will never forget. I'm not judging him by a single game. He's made, you can say, a lot of mistakes that had we not been lucky, would be worse off in the table right now because we weren't punished on many occasions. That during he's made a lot of mistakes that had the opposition been clinical. We'd be praying that the manager doesn't give him another chance. Now, guys, Sanchez makes, yeah, I think I've addressed that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Petrovic feels reassuring, very, you can say, comes across as he's much calmer on the ball, doesn't take too much risks, and also quick to decide on what to do with the ball. Sometimes he throws it, sometimes with his feet, and doesn't take unnecessary, you can say, doesn't dwell on the ball too much as Sanchez does at times. Coach, with the return of Casadei, the squad is starting to reassemble. The one we had in preseason, hopefully we start to gel a similar, yeah, to get similar success. I hope so. Petrovic all the way. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. I will bench Sanchez, coach. I would do the same in my opinion. Even though the argument will always come up that Petrovic hasn't played as much as Sanchez has played for us, but in the little he's played, he's been effective, in my opinion, more effective than Sanchez had been when he was fit. Petrovic starts on his way better. I think I feel the same too. The chemistry with the team feels stronger with Petrovic. Maybe Petrovic for me, he is more composed. I see him doing well for us. Yeah, long may that continue. The Sanchez can stay in his bed. We don't want his fraudulent passes to the opposition strikers and his passing the ball to fans in the stands. Yeah, let's see. Sanchez he can live alone. I don't think he leaves. I think the club will keep him. Big up to you too, Ike Icy. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, Coach. Are we sign? Are we going to sign at least 3 players ready to integrate into the first team? I'm not too sure what the club does, but we will find out. But big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Phil Siebes is in the house. Mr. Siebes, you have a very good camera, and I'm not sure why you prefer not to show your face on camera whenever you join the panel, but that's up to you. The question I want to ask you is this: what if you were the manager? What will you do when Sanchez recovers fully? Let's hear you. And which of the goalkeepers, given what you've seen so far, do you think is better? Should be the first choice goalkeeper. Let's get you feel, but more importantly, welcome to the final. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, big up, coach. Big up, everyone in the
Big up to you
comment
too.
section. Big up the panel. For me personally, regarding the goalkeeper, I don't see any reason we should change Petrovic because ever since he became our first choice goalkeeper after Sanchez was injured, I don't think there is any kind of debate because he
Hmm.
has done well. He has done what a proper goalkeeper is supposed to do. He doesn't hold the ball for a long time. He doesn't do any stupid mistakes. He just is always focused all the time. So personally, I would just keep Petrovic. Then it will make things much more easier because bringing back Sanchez with what I have seen ever since the beginning of the season, he is a good shop stopper, but believe me, I don't feel confident whenever he's actually on the sticks. I feel like Petrovic is the guy.
Hmm.
But that's
Yeah,
my
thanks so
own.
much. I appreciate you. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, were you still speaking?
Yeah, I was just saying like that's my own opinion. I don't know what other people say.
Yeah, we're entitled to our respective opinions, and I think you may well be correct, but we'll find out. Let's see. Sanchez lacks composure, not good with his feet. Short passes are depressing and not excellent with the long balls, but you can say acceptable. And we miss Bobby for real. Houston, this is now being on the panel. You don't get paid for being on the panel, so chances are he has other more important programs to attend to or needs to attend to, for lack of a better language. And Markin Noom, nice to see you, Mr. Noom. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. How many likes? 20 likes. And we are 34 minutes into the show. We should be doing way better than just 23 likes. And if you're following the show on Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter, or on Twitch, just know that we appreciate you. But if you don't mind, please drop a like on the stream for us, or drop a like on the show on whatever platform that you're following the show on. We'd really appreciate that. So here's the thing. I'm gonna come back to you on this one. Let's discuss this before we move on. Let's talk about Cesare Casadei's return. I've seen people on X arguing that his return means the end of Conor Gallagher. On which you could say some are saying means that Conor Gallagher will be sold. Let me use a more specific language. What do you make of that argument? I'll let you speak, and then you say before I'll present my opinion on that.
Uh, Regarding Cassidy, I think it's actually a good thing that he's back at the club. He has actually done well when he was actually at the loan at Leicester. The thing
Hmm.
is, he was not getting as many minutes as we would expect compared to, for example, someone like Matos who is at Huddersfield, who is getting constant minutes every game. Cassidy was mostly getting minutes as a substitute. Then other games maybe he will start, but he don't finish those games. So at least bringing him back and him working under Poch, I think it's a big advantage. And it also means that we won't have to think much about the other midfielders who are actually injured. For instance, Leslie, because I heard that Leslie is going to be out for a while. So that means at least Cassidy can actually come and he can fit in. And also him playing under Poch, it's going to mean that he's going to learn quickly the style of play and you can also help the team. That's my opinion. I don't know how you actually feel about this as well.
Yeah, before I speak, before I present my opinion, let me ask you this: do you think? Let me be more specific. Do you think his return wields any measure on a measure of influence on whether Conor Gallagher stays or he's sold? Let's hear you.
Personally, I don't think Gallagher is going anywhere, because he's one of our best players, which means if we have Gallagher always, he's going to be playing every game. Probably if he's leaving, it might be maybe in summer, but right now I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Besides,
Mhm.
which other teams are going to be willing to pay something like 50, 60 million of the bet? Because I doubt even Tottenham, if they are interested, they are going to pay that amount. They're going to try and weasel out of the deal because they would want to pay less. And I don't think we're actually willing to let him go for something less than 50 million. So I don't see any other team meeting up with that standard. So he's going to be there, I think, until summer. Then maybe around summer, in case he goes and he doesn't sign the new contract, then maybe he can leave.
Yeah, listen, even before I start speaking, I'm going to say something I've said before. If Gallagher leaves this January, then I owe the community a $50 giveaway. And I'm going to say this: beyond January, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. And why do I say that? Gallagher's profile is unique for a reason I don't want to get into in this particular show. And a lot of people, I'm quite sure, even the likes of my friend and me, and brother and cousin, whatever you want to call him, Bluetooth game, as much as I know he doesn't like Gallagher as a player, not as an individual, he understands probably he will stay beyond January. It take a lot. Here's the thing. People arguing that I see somebody teaching me how to pronounce it. I think it's my bro there in the chat. Match host at Trent TV. Thank you for that. Coach, it's Cesare. Okay, Cesare, not Cesare. Okay, Cesare Casadei. Cesare Casadei return. Cesare Casadei's return to Chelsea will not wield any measure of influence on whether Conor Gallagher stays or leaves. Why do I say that? Gallagher's profile is unique. Whether you think he's excellent technically or woeful technically, or whether you think all he does is run around, maybe you need to pay attention to the fact you're just telling yourself all he does is just his run around, you say pressure the opposition and something win ball, and which we've looked at the overall numbers of each Chelsea player. He topples in terms of ball winning. I think he still topples that department. He tops that department. So that alone, to me, given what we've seen, or you could say the pattern to the manager's selection process, has shown that Gallagher, whether you think he's the worst football player in the whole world, is his most important. Remember, the manager's most important player, not yours, not the fan base's most important player. The manager's most important player so far from what we've seen this season is Conor Gallagher. And every time I talk about this, I even remind people that he's not even my favorite Chelsea player. He's not even the second, third, fifth. But I recognize how well he's done so far, and the fact that he's the manager's most important player. If I were the manager, I think there are games he's played that he wouldn't be starting. And the manager, given the way he's approached the game this season, he's used them in that manner so much that when he isn't playing, we tend to struggle. Even if you think all he does is run around down the pitch. But I hope you understand my point. That's not me saying we should keep him or we should sell him. Whatever happens, I will take it. But right now, until we have another player of the same profile in terms of his energy, commitment, and his running, I don't think the club or the manager will sell him until we sign a player that can offer all those things and still do better. So I don't think Casadei coming back will wield any influence on whether any measure of influence on whether Conor Gallagher stays or leaves. But that's just my opinion. But we'll find out. But remember, I've told the community if he leaves this January, I owe the community $50. But let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Michi Boys is back in the house. Michi, you know what to do. If you get a chance, share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. But before Michi does that, I want to advise you all to please take a second, click the three dots to his name, and click on go to channel. Please subscribe. Let's help him get to 2K subscribers as soon as possible. And my bro Keishan is in the house. Nice to see you, Keishan. This is for you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And here's my pronunciation correction there. Coach, it's Cesare. But thank you for that, brother. Macho Stevie, I appreciate that. And you are laughing at me. I'm gonna get you back. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Yes, I'm interested in hosting that show. If you guys are still interested in seeing making it happen, I'll be here and we'll plan so that it's interesting. But on your channel, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for you to come. You can say it should be on your channel. It will help your channel grow. I will help publicize it. Salute Michi, nice to see you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I cannot wait to see Gallagher holding up that Spurs shirt. But you've heard me say, if he leaves this January, I owe the community a $50 giveaway. But I don't think it happens. Tottenham will pay that amount, but I think Gallagher will be gone sooner or later. I'm still going to say this. I don't see Gallagher leaving this January. Gallagher leaving, for me, beyond January, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. And that's because his, you can say the fact he had just about 2 years or so, less than 2 years left on his contract, will become an issue for the club. And he said also he's not looking to leave this January, and I don't think the club will be looking to force him out. Let's see what else we have here. And I'm going to say this: I don't care what happens. If he stays or leaves, I really do not care. We got to sell Gallagher due to FFP. That is just your opinion. I don't rate Gallagher at all. You have every right not to rate him. No, Bluetooth nobody's willing to pay off for Gallagher. It's around 40 million. We had from a potentially Everton and West Ham, and we should have taken that if we do indeed want him. Let's see what else we have here. Gallagher was going to leave. Let's see what happens. Gallagher will be sold now. In the summer. Okay, it's not a rocket science. Won't be sold. Do you mean won't? I'm not sure what to make of that. It's a bit contradicting there. Gallagher would look good in Tottenham. I would want to see him in a struggling team. I wouldn't want to see him in a struggling team. Let's see. Should go to West Ham. We don't have every right. We don't have the right to dictate where he goes. I think even if we get more money, you can say even if we have two offers on the table, one for 100 million and the other for 65 million. We would want him to go to the club that is offering 100 million. But he has every right to say no, he's not going. We've seen that happen before. In the case of Pulisic, what's the French club that offered us more than what AC Milan offered? But he'd already made up his mind to go to AC Milan. That was an issue, if you get my point. So we have no right to tell him where to go. Gallagher doesn't pass the eye test. For me, I can care less about the stats. Here's the thing. Stat numbers don't lie. Let's stick with that. That's not me saying he's the best we can do, if you're paying attention to what I'm saying. But if you're paying attention and you're being truthful to yourself, you'd know that he's actually the manager's most important players this season. Even if you don't want to go by the numbers go by the manager's selection process or pattern. How he tops up the kilometers department too. Yeah, of course. Coach Gallagher will be sold. He is pure profit. When? I'm not saying my argument isn't that he's not going to be sold. My argument is, even if the club wants to sell him, it's not going to be this January. Until if I see the club sign another player who offers what Gallagher offers and more, then I say, yeah, he can sell him. And remember, I've always told you, even after Pochettino has preached how Gallagher, how he's come through the Chelsea Academy, how he works hard on the pitch and all that, he hasn't specifically said, I want him to stay. I don't want the club to sell him. Which managers, any manager that wants a player to stay would do that. But right now, I don't see the club selling him. And that's because we don't have any other person that fits his profile at the club right now. Yeah, but that's just my opinion anyway. And if you think he stays because of Poch, didn't you hear Poch say that I need to worry about myself? So we're basically saying the same thing, but here's where I differ. He's the manager's most important player, given the manager's selection pattern, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's how I'm just going to leave it at that. Coach, I will not repeat it now, but I will do it after Gallagher is sold. When? Be specific. I just told you that he's not going to be sold this January transfer window. Beyond that, I don't know what happens. And beyond January, other factors will come into play. The length, how much time he has left on his contract, and all that. That's where I'm leaving it. I'm not saying the club will not sell him if they feel like they want to sell him, but I don't think it will be this January. I don't hate Gallagher. I just don't rate him as a highly and half-hour fan base. I set the challenge at the start of the season for him to go 10 to 12 goals and assists in total. He's on 4. It's not too much to ask. Here's the thing. You have every right to set that goal for him. That's why we're fans. We demand, you can say perfection. We demand goals and assists. We demand you can say productivity from our players in terms of goals, assists, and ball winning ability and all of that. But yeah, we're having it, and I understand that. We're just having a conversation here. I understand coach's opinion because he is our most improved player. You couldn't argue that. That's arguably the truth. Yeah, I'm not sure how else to phrase it. Gallagher has to leave. If not, Osimhen don't come. That is just your opinion. We need that giveaway. I hope it happens. If he gets sold this January, yeah, you'll get it. I don't fail people in terms of such giveaways. Let's see. No one is bigger than Chelsea. It's as simple as that. And I agree with that. But I'm trying to be as objective as possible by letting you know right now, let's just leave it at we have to make do with what we have. Or if you prefer, the bar is so low that Gallagher has emerged as one of Chelsea's best performers this season so far. If that's another way you want to see it like that. But what I don't appreciate is people not realizing the fact that he's actually our best player, our top performer in some departments, and not accepting that, probably being, you can say, disingenuous in terms of not saying, yeah, the numbers show he's been one of our best performers this season so far. Constantine Dante will let you know he agrees, but Constantine Dante will go to the extent of telling you he's only more effective when we play against teams where there are spaces for him. There will be spaces for him to exploit, which is a sensible and objective debate argument, and I like that. That's how I like to operate. I don't just blindly say no, sell him because he's poor, but sell him and do what in his absence right now? That's just the truth. So let's see what else we have here. Coach Chelsea. Let's see. Let's find out if that happens. Let's see. Kuchila flip flopping now. Does he mix? Does he make this? He makes a difference. And you know the reason why I said we can't sell him now, except if you get another player that offers what he offers plus more, then yeah, you can say we'll sell him. If he leaves, you win. It's simple debate there. Coach, will you schedule a celebration stream for when he's sold? When? This January? If he's sold, then I'll schedule a stream. Then we'll talk about how I was wrong to have thought that the club wouldn't sell him. Yeah, that's just that. Gallagher might go to Arsenal. He has every right to go to whatever club he likes. We don't have the right to choose for him. Gallagher's agenda is real. Look, people are entitled to their respective opinions. £150 giveaway. Anybody out there? Let's see. We'll finish top six. I won't be surprised if Casadei benches Gallagher. No, they're not the same. Consider the profile of the players you're talking about here, and not whether you like one or whether you think one is a better player than the other. But right now, let's see if someone is on the panel. Then I'll be highlighting your comments, and we'll switch it to the next item we have lined up as soon as possible. Bobby, big up to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're well. I hope your treatment is going well. And let's start by Cesare Casadei coming back. Two parts of the question. One, do you think he get enough game time to keep developing because he's just 21? And I remember when I wasn't happy that we let him go out on loan, you were the one that explained that there's already a program for him in place for him to follow, part of which was learning the language, acclimatizing to the English football, and going out on loan and getting enough game time. Do you think he'd get enough game time? I'm not saying he should be starting every game because at 21, you need to be playing. I'm not going to say a lot. Let's just leave it at you need to be playing to develop effectively because he's such a talent. Second part, I've seen people argue that his return means that Gallagher will be sold or less game time for Gallagher. But let's hear you. So start from the first part to the second part. Let's hear you, Bobby.
Big up, coach. And
Big up to you
I
too, brother.
can't see who else is on the panel, but big up everyone on the panel
That's
and in the
Phil.
chat. Hi, Phil. Hi. Yeah, I'm happy that Casadei is coming back. Yes, he did have a program, but these programs are not sort of cast in stone. There is a guide to his development, and so far they have been following that guide. He will have game time. Leslie Ugochukwu, after all, played, even overplayed to the point of injury and further injury. So much more Casadei. Clearly, he's back because of his physicality and the lack thereof for us in midfield. He will have a part to play. He's good in the air. He's a goal scorer. Not so sure about his speed, but he's not particularly slow either. He's quite creative. Be interesting to see how he plays with Cole Palmer. He's uh, he's going to be a good addition. He's more offensive, but remember, in pre-season he played defensively. He played as a six. He even played as a centre back within that six, and he played all along the spine of the midfield when he was on. So I am very interested in seeing him back. I think we need his physicality. Okay, he's not mature in the Premier League, but he's had 6 months in the Championship, which will harden him because that's a tough league with a lot of tough players. And yeah, it's a welcome addition. This goes along the lines of what I've said right from the beginning of January, even before January. I don't think Chelsea are going to do any business this January. I'm glad because not that I'm glad for them to satisfy the haters that just want to see the team weakened, but I'm glad that it means they're not prepared to panic buy. They did all their mass purchases last January and over the summer, so now they can take their foot off the pedal and move forward. Don't know what all the talk about Gallagher's about. It's a bit of a waste of time, waste of breath. He's not going anywhere, certainly not this January, and probably by the summer he'll probably sign another contract and we move on. I don't know why people are still hanging on to this Gallagher Moscow scenario.
Here's something else I want to ask you. I don't think you answered that, probably because I asked two questions at the same time. Um, Let me go back to: do you see his return? You said leading it to Gallagher seeing less game time.
No,
I don't see that either.
no.
People thought that was
Yeah,
going to be the case for when Enzo Fernandez is fit. And
mm,
when what's his name, Romeo Lavia is fit. I know his Romeo Lavia is different from Conor Gallagher. I don't know how else to
mm.
explain this, but that's just me
They're
anyway. But
very
go ahead,
different.
Bobby. Let's hear you.
Ga- Gallagher is more or less fixed in this team. He will complement Casadei and indeed allow Casadei to express himself because he's the workhorse in midfield alongside Caicedo. The person that may play less or may come off the bench more, depending on how you want to look at it, is probably going to be Enzo. It's going to be very game dependent for Enzo. And that's probably a good thing. I think Enzo plays too much football. And I think the physicality of the Premier League is something he still needs to get used to.
Mhm.
So it'll be Enzo that's more likely to rotate with Casadei, not Gallagher. All this, wishful thinking, anti-Gallagher thinking, I don't know if it'll ever go away. He's established himself, in a team that has been struggling for players that at least gives us consistency of their presence. So why anybody would want him to leave, I have no idea. But especially now, Cassidy is not a threat to him, and vice versa.
Yeah, which is really because Casadei is a different profile. If anything, Casadei is more like Enzo Fernandez, which if you have him on the pitch, you need a more workaholic like Conor Gallagher to cover up. I'm not too sure. Heston, I don't know how they think that Casadei's return means the departure of Conor Gallagher or less game time for Conor Gallagher. If you're in the chat, here's something I want to say to you quickly. Let's hear you. Cesare Casadei, who is he more like? Is he more like is it more like Moses Caseta? Is it more like Enzo Fernandez? Is it more like Conor Gallagher? Is it more like Cardi Chukwemeka? Let's hear you. Let's elaborate this conversation before we move on. Or you can say deep dive more into it. Use the money to buy Osimhen, and how much do you think you'd get from his sale? Please like and subscribe to Soccer Perspective. I tried my best to cover
I,
AFCON. Maybe in
I
the
tell you,
second round of the competition, I'd be able to get it in local television here or cable television so that to cover it effectively. Maybe I needed to sign up for something else to cover it, and I didn't want to do that. Go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something.
yeah, I was going to say. Well, just before I say that, I've watched a couple of the Afcons, interesting games. But I think at these group stages, they're not really playing in fourth gear or third gear, if you know what I'm saying.
Until the
But
second half,
yeah,
the knockout stages. Yeah,
yeah. But your guys did well against Ivory Coast, I believe. They showed a lot of defensive ability, and of course Egypt. It's like the big countries are struggling at the moment with the lesser countries, but Egypt had the 2-2 draw, and it's been interesting.
lots of
And even
surprises, right?
yeah, yeah, and at the moment Tunisia is losing 1-0 to Mali, so it doesn't disappoint, that competition.
No,
But
it
anyway,
does. Lots of surprises.
back to our team. Look, I'm excited. You just mentioned something. Hopefully Carney gets fit, and it's needed. He has height. He's good on the ball. Imagine a midfield or some sort of attacking permutation that has Carney, Cole Palmer, and um, Casadei. There's all sorts of possibilities with the availability of these guys. And this is what I'm looking at. People are looking at people going away. I don't think so. I think
Mm.
we need this rotation. We need these options, and we will be less bullied physically if we have these options. Yes, they're kids and they'll be coming up against men, but Carney has played men before. That's probably what got him injured. Casadei has had his stint in the championship, and of course, we all know about Cole Palmer. So these kids are going to be very useful to this Chelsea team, and I want to see it because the second half of the season is the most difficult half. I've just watched Brentford and Nottingham Forest, and Brentford winning 3-2. A lot of physicality in that game, a game that I wouldn't have fancied us playing, to be honest, because it was quite, physically based. So having these guys back, I think can only help us. Connor is staying, waste of time wishing he's not going anywhere. Certainly not this January. Certainly not. And if you think he's not going to play, another delusion. He's going to be playing.
Yeah.
Cassidy, he will play, but he won't always play, but he will play, and I think that's rightly so. They'll ease him into the first team, but anybody that's delusional thinking that Conor Gallagher won't feature significantly the second half of the season hasn't been watching football. He just, if he stays fit like he has been, he's crucial to the team at the moment.
He is. I have to agree again, and I'm not gonna. I don't owe anybody any explanation. You know, that's just you are entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. Let's see what else we have here because today had some nice touches. It reminds me a little bit of young Kaká. Talk about that. I think it's sort of that sort of player that will mature into Yaya Torres type of player, given his build and his ability to carry the ball, his eyes for goals, passing range. He has good eyes for goals and all that. Big up, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. Coach hiding behind Bobby on Gallagher topic. You think? Okay, we'll find out. Let's see what else we have. I cannot really answer that question until you know where Gallagher best position is. I've explained that a lot. I think Gallagher, in my opinion, will be more effective on the flanks, but the manager wants him centrally because he's using him mainly, you can say, as the engine of the team, ball winning ability and all that. Big up to you, Willie Blessed. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. 100 million Enzo Fernandez coming off the bench. Dustin. Let's see. Maybe the board. Anything else? Gallagher's best position is on the bench. Okay. Let's see. Because today is our new Gallagher. I don't think so. And AFCON watch along. Yeah, I think I've responded to that. We'll see what we can do. In preseason, Casadei looked miles better than Conor Gallagher in build-up play, so he can easily be here to be Enzo Fernandez rotation option or a permanent Conor Gallagher replacement. It has to be one of the two. That's because He's more like Enzo Fernandez than he is like Gallagher. Why would Enzo be rotating with Casadei if you already have Ugochukwu, Santos, Carney? That ain't getting games. Yeah. So it's a question we need to answer. But Ugochukwu right now, I think we're hearing that his injury is worse than expected. Hopefully that's not the case. Carney and Palmer link up. Let's see what happens there. Casadei is bulkier than Conor and a better passer. So Captain Connor's position is in danger. We'll find out if that's the case. Tipe Salifa, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. When everyone's fit, Gallagher holds a bench in. We all know. Yeah, let's see what happens. You're entitled to your opinion there. A distinct possibility, which will not mention, but lose on Tuesday and Poch is in trouble. Gallagher is not even an agenda at the moment. Yeah, Gallagher should be the list of your concerns. Let's win games. Chances are he stays and the manager leaves before him. Yeah. I see Poch shifting Gallagher to a DM. Possibly. Let's see what happens. Bobby, let's see what Fabrizio said first. Fabrizio doesn't have the final say on what Chelsea does in the market. That's by the way, let's see how you tie two things you haven't spoken about. Bobby, before I go to Ty, actually, let's hear you. Petrovic, have you seen enough to say he should remain? You can say he should be the number one goalkeeper. Do you think you need? Do you need to see more, Bobby? Before I go to Ty,
No, Petrovic has to be number one for sure.
you've
He's
seen
not.
enough.
We've seen enough. I don't see what else we need to see. I mean, we've seen. Hasn't he's almost been in goal as long as Sanchez,
Sanchez, yeah, had been, yeah.
and I've felt, yeah, there's been some shaky moments and so on, but I felt more. Uh, I felt less concerned with Petrovic in goal than with Sanchez in goal. So unless it's his to lose. I think the number one has to be with him.
Yeah, I think so too. So Ty, two questions for you, Ty, if you're there. I know you came in and went out, probably had something to go address. Ty, if you're there, the goalkeeping question. Have you seen enough to say that Petrovic should remain should become the number one goalkeeper because he wasn't? So the better language would be should become. And let's hear you once you respond to that. Let's hear you. Do you think Casadei's return will reduce Conor Gallagher's playing time, or do you think that this simply means that Conor Gallagher will be sold? But let's hear you. Cesare Casadei, by the way, somebody corrected me on how to pronounce his name. But go ahead.
Yes.
Are
Yeah.
you there, Ty? We can't hear you. You're not, or either you're not speaking or you have an audio issue.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Ty, we can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
There's a delay. Yes, I've seen enough from Petrovic to say that he should become the first choice. His distribution is better. He's more attentive, and the way that he tries to save the shots and the way that he claims the ball is better than Sanchez. At the end of the day, it's a good um thing to see unfold because both goalkeepers are better than the other in certain ways and in other ways. So yeah, but Petrovic, based on what I've seen of Petrovic, mostly he should be the first choice. And I would say I don't think Cassidy returning to Chelsea means that Gallagher will be sold. It will be foolish to believe that because you haven't seen him play for Chelsea, so he wouldn't make a decision like that without seeing the player play first. And also, I don't think his return means that Gallagher plays less. There's no guarantee of that. It will be the same thing as I said prior. You have to wait and see how the player plays. That doesn't mean that his minutes will go down. I mean, it's competition, and that's what we want. But
But
I don't
going off of their profile, do you think do you think that that would be the case? You could say to any
know.
certain measure. Let's hear you.
No, it won't. Both players are able to play at the same time, based on their profiles and the fact that, as you mentioned, Cassidy is more of a player who is in between a 6 and an 8. He can play in either one, but he's in between that. Gallagher is neither a 6, so it's not rocket science. I believe both can play at the same time, and also I don't think Gallagher's minutes will go down. I think people see that, and I don't know why, because Cassidy offers something completely different from Gallagher, and he's not the solution, quote unquote, if you want a reason to sell Gallagher. That's just my opinion. I know some people disagree, but it is what it is.
That we're here to have a conversation. We don't all have. If we all agree, then we don't have a show. I've always wanted Casadei to stay in, Ugochukwu to go out alone. A lot of people wanted that, but the manager preferred Ugochukwu at the time. Ugochukwu is different. You say he's the only traditional DM that we have right now. The closest to him would be what's his name? Romeo Lavia Palace. Fans said Gallagher at DM was terrible. Even with his improvement, we cannot afford for player like Gallagher to be our second to last line of defense. Here's the thing. You asked me that question, which I've always told you he's better off on the flanks, but that's just my opinion. The manager prefers him centrally because he utilizes him more as a ball winning midfielder than anything else. Someone needs to give news to Sanchez. You know which one, but don't discount Benjamin Petrovic. That's his thing. We've heard from Broja before that what's his name, and that Pochettino is predictably unpredictable. Which means we're not sure what he's going to do. Chances are, Sanchez comes back and he drops. He would drop Petrovic to the bench. Then if that happens and Sanchez underperforms, questions he'd have a lot of questions to answer. I think it's clear as day and night that Petrovic is the better of the two, and hopefully he still has more time to show that he's the better goalkeeper of the two. If it falters from now till when Sanchez comes back, then he may well lose that number one spot. But I think it makes sense to change him. Chances are we see Sanchez come back in because he has people at the club, people who worked with him at Brighton that may could influence the managers, get the manager to choose to drop Petrovic to the bench, whether you can say he's proven to be the better of the two or not. But we'll find out. Yeah, don't discount that. I agree with you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And Ty, that's JC saying hello to you. Let's see what else we have here. Earth calling Ty. Let's see what else we have. Would you sell Gallagher and Broja if we get 100 million from them? I think that question is incomplete. Sell them and do what? I want to know. If you have to tell me what do you do with the 100 million? I know where you're going, but be specific, then I'll respond. That's what I'm saying. Let's see what else we have here. Gallagher and Broja, we have to sell it to raise funds. Let's see to do what with the funds you raise. Happy weekend, everyone in the chat and all the moderators in the live streamer here. John, nice to see you. This is for you, John. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for doing that. I've just pressed the like button. I know you don't need to be reminded because I know how you operate. And the Blue Tiffer Game says the coach, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how we all feel about how important Gallagher is to the squad. I think the pure profit argument will win in the end, unfortunately. Here's the thing. There's a possibility it ends up winning, but it's not going to win this January. That's my argument. Even the pure profit argument will not win this January. Yeah, it may well end up happening, but I don't think it happens, but we will find out. Let's see what else you have here. Wayne Stanley and Stewart move like West London what? And so far, always got what they want. Our squad is built in their vision and not purchased. So they will sell Conor Gallagher by fire or force as they wish to do so. We'll find out. No need going back and forth on that particular argument. By fire, by force. That's something that's very a saying that's very popular in Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. By force, they force Martin. Let's see what happens. Coach is trying to save his giveaway by sticking a January argument to the term a spin match. Here's the thing: you've always known. I've always mentioned January. I've always said January. Beyond January, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. Coach is so worried about losing that $50. We will find out. And Jay-Z, Jerry C, JC, so to speak, your brother is in the house. Your brother John is in the house. Let's see what else we have here. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Let's go. Here is saying Chelsea and Bali have partnered with AI Scout, a phone app that sees thousands of players upload clips of themselves performing specifically drills to clubs to what? To Paris? I don't know that word, but I'm not sure. Maybe just more like you can say showing their abilities. I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't know. Anybody on the panel has anything to say with this particular report? As for me, nothing. I don't think that means that, yeah, we're purchasing players or signing players based on what we see on the app. No. But I think this is more like business for the app. They're probably paying us to get exposure by reporting that, yeah, we've partnered with them. I'm not too sure. Anybody on the panel, feel anybody here has anything to say with this particular?
Personally, I'm not a big fan of like this strategy of scouting. I used to believe that it's much better for someone to actually go and scout the players individually, so that at least when you see these players playing, you can actually scout them and you can actually see the strength and the weaknesses and how they will fit to how your team is going to be playing. Look at some of the players that we scouted, like Salah, players like De Bruyne. They went on to become legendary players and legends in their own right, compared to just taking any kid you just find from, let's say, Brazil. You pay 50 million, then you bring them to the team, then probably a year or two they just flop or they burn out. I think this is just not a good way to scout players. We just need to continue and to stick to doing it the old fashioned way. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not reading too much into it. That's because this specifically says the Chelsea and Burnley have partnered with AI Scout, a phone app that sees thousands of players upload clips of themselves performing specific drills for clubs to see or peruse. I'm not sure. I know that I haven't seen that word before. Maybe, it's the language is you could say was used again in that report deliberately. That's the first time I'm seeing that word. John, okay, just saying hello to each other here. Let's see, Coach. Photos of Palmer with wildlife nearly broke Twitter today. Player uploading clips could backfire very quickly. A bad idea. I've seen that picture, but I don't make. You can say I didn't read too much into it, and I don't want to. They were on break at the time, and for him having fun. But I get I get where you're coming from. And see, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go along with Chelsea scouting to Debo. I think I've seen that. It's nothing new there. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up. AIFC. Let's go, people. Let's go. Targeting a center back with a good personality, but it's not guaranteed. What do they mean with a good personality? Character? I hope that's the case. With a good personality, but it's not guaranteed to be during January because many players are Probably, I'm sure that he's missing are not available, and not because many players are available. So I'm quite sure he's missing the word "not" there. But that's Let's move on. Let's hear you if you're in the chat. I don't have any centre back in mind, and I actually don't think we need one. I get it. The argument will always come up that this will be Thiago Silva's last season, plus we'll most likely sell Trevor Chalobah this January transfer window. So I'm not too sure what to make of that. And when they say good personality, I'm not sure what that means. Probably good character, maybe. Good character in terms of leadership and all that. Not if you say good personality, I'm not too sure what to make of this particular report. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, apologies. I usually read because I like to look beyond the words being used in a report to try to dissect and make sense of that particular report. In this case, I'm not too sure what to make of it, but I'm quite sure probably they mean in terms of character, maybe character in terms of leadership and all that. Strong character in terms of, you could say, not bulging under pressure, for lack of a better language, to get my point across there. That was getting physical. Palmer had a quick escape. Yeah, he ran away. That was funny, and that's all for me. That's all there is to me. I didn't try to look beyond what transpired. We legit using computer to improve the player's skills and attributes. You could argue that. Good personality. What about his defending? Yeah. You can say like, duh. That's the primary thing to look for the player. Is the player good enough? Okay, let's look at his character. To me, I'm not too sure what to make of that particular report. I don't know if anybody else on the panel has anything to add to that. A family man and good with kids. Yeah, be more specific. Maybe we should. It means with a mustache and coach. You know what I mean? I do understand, really. Anybody, just go away. Anybody else on the panel has anything else to add to this particular report? I'm not too sure what to make of it, but I guess I understand what they mean. Yeah, probably. It was not written in English originally and was interpreted to this. So that's when you get sometimes you get such weird report, not making any sort of sense in my opinion. As well as we have here, good morals. Not likely to be seen photographed with the name you're mentioning there. AW, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's move on to the next item. It doesn't look like anybody else has anything to say with regards to that particular report. Let's. So here's one that got my attention when I saw this report. I would say that according to Sky Germany, 20-year-old Slovenian striker Benjamin Sesko, I think it's pronounced Sesko. I don't know. Let me just go with Sesko. Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig has a 50 million euros release clause in his current contract, which is valid from June 30th. June 30th this year. So still a long way to go. Should we? Here's a question for you if you're in the chat. In the chat, should we just try to get him in the summer? That's because a 50 million for Benjamin Sesko is a good deal. 23 season 2023 22 23, he played 64 games, scored 25 goals. That's not a bad return, and made 4 assists. Would you take Sesko at Chelsea? I would. He's a player I like. I think he's a complete striker, in my opinion. Good on the ball, can also create chances, can jump deep and participate in the play. Excellent aerially. Both, you can say, let's hear your thoughts. I wouldn't mind Benjamin Sesko at Chelsea. He's a good striker. He's a good modern day striker, in my opinion. But let's hear your thoughts there if you're there. Not a good return for 22-23. And how well has he done in 23-24? Let me check Benjamin Sesko stats. So let's say is he a player you would want to see at Chelsea, but he's still very young. Yep. Benjamin Sesko age, I think at most I think he's 20. Yep. It's there on the screen actually, except if they made a mistake there. But let's go, Benjamin Sesko. I think we've been linked with him for a while now. From 2 seasons ago, actually. Benjamin Sesko age. Benjamin Sesko stats, so to speak. Stats. Let's see how well he's done this season so far. This season, 15 matches, 3 goals. And in the Champions League 23-24, 6 matches, 2 goals. So in total, yeah, so he's done well this season 23-24 actually. Two DFB Porto goals, 2 Champions League goals, and 3 league goals. Not bad. So in total, he has 5 goals, 7 goals in total this season so far. But not as good as last season, in my opinion. 25 goals in total for 22-23. That's not bad. But let's hear you. Would you like to see him at Chelsea? If yes, let's hear you. Not bad for a young player. Yeah. And chances are they will most likely go for him, because that's our thing these days. We prefer signing younger players. And he's not bad, actually. He's a complete number 9. He can drop the participant in the play, create chances for his teammates. He's good aerial, in my opinion. Coach, I'm assuming that your question means you're selling Broja and maybe Jackson too, Osimhen are coming too. We can have Sesko and Osimhen. That's because they differ a bit. Osimhen is more on the side of a traditional number 9, and Sesko is more more of you can say more of a complete player than Osimhen is, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. I swear, Winston Lee, the playground creeper, had a bulge in his pants when he saw this news. Wow. Why did I even read that? Holy crap. What is wrong with me? Oh my gosh. It will be stupid to sell Jackson. I don't think the club will sell Jackson. If anybody, probably even Broja, I'm not too sure the club will sell him. If anything, they'd let him go out on loan. That's because he's signed on to 2049, if you understand what I mean. My friend is in the house, Miss Molina. Nice to see you. This is for you. Sincerely do appreciate you. I still would want to again want us to collaborate. Maybe it's up to you. Probably pre-game, post-game show. For our next league game, or if we get to meet in the cup game. Are you still in any of the cup games? I can't quite remember. But nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to come support a bro. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all. And quickly, if you're following the show on Instagram, or you're following the show on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, listen, a secret for you. We do a monthly giveaway for our members who are students whenever we can, and you get a chance to win at least $50 if you are a student. If you are a student, whenever we can. So you're better off joining us on YouTube, subscribing to the channel, and make sure you click on the bell notification button so you don't miss out whenever we go live, and you get a chance to win at least $50. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Oshiman, for you, let's hear you if you're in the chat. What do you make of us the possibility of Chelsea signing Benjamin Sesko? And I'm gonna say this: we're more likely going for Sesko than Osimhen. That's because he's younger, and you know our thing these days. And my friend, good to see you live again. Thank you. Sincerely do appreciate it. I appreciate that, my good friend. I cannot thank you enough. That will go a long way for us. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you. This is for you. Yep, and once again, and more importantly, we need to collaborate because I value your knowledge of the game so much. Wow, and hopefully that happens soon. But thank you once again, my friend there. Bobby, let's hear you. Benjamin Sesko, we've been linked with a move for him for a while now. You can say 3-4 seasons right now, even under Thomas Tuchel, even before Thomas Tuchel, when he was younger. Is he a player you like? And do you prefer options such as what's his name, Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney?
Coach, I don't even have Sesko on my radar, and I'm sure Chelsea don't either at the moment. His figures for playing in the Austrian league or something are not fantastic. This is January, so I put this very, very much firmly in the
Silly
I'm
season
trying
bucket.
rumors box.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a rumor. Now I think what's going to happen at Chelsea is a straight up toss up between Osimhen and Ivan Toney. I watched Ivan Toney today. He looked good, a little rusty as would be expected.
Hmm.
But I think that's a very difficult choice if there's a choice to be had between the two for varying reasons. But I have a feeling that Chelsea have already made their uh, uh, off-camera agreement. I think they're going for Osimhen. It just feels that way, the way Didier Drogba was all over him at the AFCON, and
Yeah,
it just
the
feels
agent
that way.
drop a narrative.
Yeah, I mean the pictures are there to see. The
It was actually a video.
is
He went you can say and we went to him, hugged him before the Super Eagles were on the verge of walking onto the pitch for warm up exercises before. Yeah, of course he
yeah,
that's his home because they're hosting, right? Africa's is hosting. But go ahead,
yeah,
Bobby.
yeah. I mean, now one would say, regardless, he holds Drogba in high esteem, and I have no doubt of that. But I don't see Drogba not whispering something about coming to Chelsea in his ear.
Mhm.
I just don't see he will do that. Is that enough? No. Ultimately, the decision lies with the player. But there's a lot of smoke around this without there being a fire. Let's put it that way. And I just have that feeling I could be wrong. And tomorrow you hear Chelsea have dropped the money for Ivan Toney, or neither of them. I don't know. But what I do, I suspect Osimhen, not confidently, but I suspect, and I reiterate, I doubt Chelsea will bother to get a striker this January. They might do a loan. A loan is possible. And
Mhm.
I know that will trigger the whole Benzema rumors. But Chelsea are not going to. You're not going to get any sort of big transfer or something going on coming from us, and it's not because of FFP or any other reason. It's quite simply because we are rightly patient, waiting for the right player and for the right move to make, and that looks like it's going to have to be in the summer.
Yeah, just quickly from the fans' perspective, Bobby. Let's talk about this. Osimhen, he's missed about three chances. Again, for Nigeria. And you say I don't judge him by those chances he's missed. But Chelsea fans. Some after the last chance he missed, 1v1, could have chipped the goalkeeper. I think he tried to chip him, but he went over the goalpost to the stands. And some people, because of that, were already saying, some actually tagged him on Twitter, say, "Don't come close to my club. I don't want you in my club," and all that. Some are saying that's it. They don't want to see him. And Ivan Toney comes back from a long spell outside due to his suspension. He scores a free kick, and they were he's the one. He's the one. So, what do you make of? You can say, let's call it the indecision of the fan base, not too sure what they want, judging a player by a single mistake or a single miss, and you can say clamoring for the signing of one because he came back from having been out for a while due to his suspension and scored a goal. But let's hear you, Bobby. What do you make of that, really?
I well, the one particular miss by Osimhen I saw was it against the Ivory Coast, and yes, he was 1-on-1 with the
He missed
keeper.
two. He missed two goals. One was a header. One was that one. I think he tried to chip out. I'm not sure what he tried to do at it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean he overhit the ball basically.
Hmm.
There's a lot of that at AFCON. Even by the best players. I don't know whether it's to do with the pitches. I'm not sure what happens to these players when they get to play for their country. they tend to look less
Another
sharp.
point.
Um, I don't know. Look, I'm looking at it this way. Yes, Ivan Toney scores a free kick. I mean, it was written, wasn't it? You know, he's been away for so long. He's not.
Mhm,
He's hardly going to come and have a poor game. Not a player of his quality. Why I suspect Osimhen is that Osimhen fits the formula that Chelsea are looking for because of his age. Now, is he somebody that's going to struggle to score in the Premier League? That's left to be seen. You know, the misses he's had at AFCON hasn't been encouraging because we've seen enough of that at Chelsea with our strikers. So it hasn't been encouraging. And, you know, I don't know. You know, he won a penalty, rightly so. I don't know. It's a very, very difficult call because there's so much potential in him. But can we afford to purchase potential again? I don't think so. Now, Ivan Toney is the finished article, but will Chelsea, because of the direction of the project, will they go for a player that is the finished article and potentially has maybe about 2, maybe 3 more seasons left in him at
mhm,
the top? I don't think they'll fancy that. It's not the model at the moment.
mhm.
It's not the model. So I think you might find that they will go for Osimhen. Now, will Osimhen work in the Premier League? That's my concern because the Premier League is fast paced, it's hectic. You know, you're heckled by the opposition every weekend. You know, we don't need a player that's going to not be able to finish off his chances. And I wasn't encouraged by that miss. You know, the one, yeah, that miss. He overhit the ball, and I felt that was poor from somebody who is currently at the moment the African Player of the Year. Now, is that is that common with him? I don't think so. I think, again, for Napoli, he tends to put those sort of chances away. So it's a difficult call, but that's what we've got directors, sporting directors for. They will need to make that call. But yeah, I mean, he's got 100 million on his head. You know, you can't be at such a high level competition missing chances like that, or nobody's going to come for you. Not at that price.
His thing. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you drop.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it. You know, not at that price. You know, nobody's going.
Hmm.
He's not doing himself any favors. But hey, look, they've got another game to play, and I believe they'll probably qualify for the last 16 and have at least one more game to play, at least. So, we'll get to see him and see what he's about more.
Yeah, here's how I see it. I'm not going to judge him by you can say a few misses, just three in total right now. If I want to do that, I'd compare that to the ratio of the chances he's put away. That's how I operate. But I just had to bring that up so that we discuss it, given how Chelsea fans behave. Haaland, if you see his misses, you're gonna throw up too. He's missed one that the goalkeeper probably wasn't in place to you can say unsettle him or try to stop the ball, yet he ballooned it. So I understand it was all you can say all the chances he's missed so far were all disappointing misses. But it'd be unfair to just judge him by three misses. If you want to do that, anybody wants to do that, let that person compare the misses to the ratio of goals he's put away. So I'm going to come to you in a bit to talk about Benjamin Sesko, whether you'd like to see him at Chelsea. Sesko, we have to be quick before Spurs snatch him up. There are other clubs interested too. I think United, I heard are also interested in signing him. I guess Tone has answered the question whether or not he may have lost a yard or two. He just, as Bobby mentioned, as rusty as you would have expected the player that's been out for a while to be. Other than that, he still has it in him. Gyökeres has the best stats in between all of them. Let's see. Gyökeres for me is just that the difference is that he's not done performed consistently right now. Any argument that he's just a one season wonder player, I'd consider it legit. Osimhen over Tone from you. Let's see, coach. You keep installing. Here's the thing. For one reason, and I think I've talked about this before. Sterling, as bad as you may think he is, he's performed actually. You'd have to argue he's one of the top performers for us this season. Has he been consistent? No. His biggest problem is that he hasn't performed consistently. And given how much he earns and the fact that he's the most experienced player at Chelsea, he hasn't led by example. But I'm sensing Sterling may well be that sort of player that by the time we gel, I start playing more of a unit and you don't expect too much of him, he start performing week in, week out. But right now, given the fact that we lack experience, I wouldn't let him go. Except if we get in any experienced player, any other experienced player, another experienced player in that department, or maybe get a younger player that's better than him. If I were the manager, I'd be starting I'd be starting Mihailo Mudryk over him. But I still wouldn't let him go until we're getting another experienced player, in my opinion. So let's see what else we have here. Odogwu Osimhen, that name Odogwu, I know the meaning. Odogwu Osimhen is our best option because that kid is like a Giroud and a Vardy hybrid. Mad strength for such a skinny guy. He is our best option. He's excellent aerially, can put goals away. He's a poacher. And you've heard me argue if I have to argue reasons why I don't think we should sign him. You've heard that argument. No need going into that because I don't want to stir up a controversy right now. Sterling might leave. If he gets a good offer in the Saudi league that pays him more than Chelsea, chances are he'd leave. But I don't know. Osimhen will miss chances and then bag a brace in the dying minutes of a game. Osimhen does not leave inside his own head like some fraudulent strikers. You have some strikers, yeah, if they miss such chances, that's it for them. In that game, he did well enough and won one Nigeria penalty. But I get Bobby's opinion. It was a disappointing miss, but I've said it. I'm not going to judge him with the two misses on the day or the one before. He's Nigerian. He will be okay. And that's another way to see it. Let's see, Coach. Here are stats of the best of finishes of all time since 09-010. Messi has a conversion rate of scoring a goal with every 5.25 shots, while Ronaldo scores with every 6.43 shots. Okay. So why do we, Tibe, why did you bring that up? Let's hear you. You have to tell us why you brought that up. Haaland's his foul comes, I nearly threw up. People miss chances, but you should understand where Bobby, his point of view. Me, I don't like the idea of Osimhen because of the price tag. We bought Lukaku, I guess, from Serie A. He was informed. He comes and flops and everything else you say there. Tone better still get Sesko for 50 million euros, which is around 30 plus. Correct me if I'm wrong, £1 million or so. I'm not sure. I haven't done the calculations, but that's cheap for a player as good as Benjamin Sesko. But the question is, probably he'd have so many options. It'd take a lot it would take a lot for us to convince him to join us if we don't have a Champions League football. Lukaku was not supposed to make that jump. We were going for Haaland at the time, but Haaland probably didn't want. I'm not too sure whether he wanted to join us or did we even try to sign him. I don't know. Mudryk must take over Sterling's place, otherwise he will leave. There's a risk that could happen because he's a good player and he's again. I get it. He probably at Chelsea hasn't played that much. You can say he hasn't gotten a real opportunity to show Chelsea fans what he's capable of. But I knew him even before he joined Chelsea, and I know there's a good player in him. You just need to give him consistent game time. He's a better dribbler than Raheem Sterling. If anything, Raheem Sterling has, if Raheem Sterling has anything over him, just the experience. But let's see what happens. Approximately 20% Messi and 15% Ronaldo makes sense. Let's see the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 42 likes, and I appreciate that. And quickly, to those of you who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. That's because you watching alone does go a long way, but we want you to do us one more favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us to help us reach more people. Would really appreciate that. So let's go to the next item we have lined up here. Let's go. Yeah, he's saying this is also about Benjamin Sesko. It says according to Philippines 24. I don't know who that is. And Sky Germany, Sky DE, Sky Germany. Benjamin Sesko has a 50 million euros release clause active this summer. Yep. So if we want to go sign him, I think we have to start making a move right now. That's because I'm quite sure, given the player he is, there aren't shortage of clubs willing to probably interested in signing him already. Benjamin Sesko's agent chilled with Chelsea owners Todd Bowley and Behad Igbali during the Blues encounter with RB Salzburg. But that's not guarantee. Maybe even if we have a good relationship, yeah, we do have a good relationship with Salzburg. But let's see what happens. What do you think? Do you think we can get him? There's no guarantee. Because I think it'd be even more difficult for us to sign him if we don't achieve a European place this season. But before I move on, Ty, I'm gonna come to you quickly. Benjamin Sesko, you've seen the report. Do you want to see him at Chelsea? If you think that's the case, even if you don't think that it's going to be possible, even if you don't want to see him at Chelsea, so to speak, do you think would be able to sign him, given the fact he has a 50 million euros release clause on his current contract, which will be active in the summer? Let's hear you, Ty, if you're there.
No, I don't want to see my Chelsea.
Are you there, Ty?
I have to agree with Ty. No, I think Sesko. I mean, people are complaining about Osimhen missing a couple of chances. Osimhen, I think, has scored in the tournament he's in, and he has assisted 2 goals. One of which directly with the penalty. The other, I think, he helped with an assist. So I don't know what people are expecting. Whereas Sesko will definitely have to have a bedding in period. And will he ever be prolific as we need of a striker? I don't know. So, I can see Osimhen happening ahead of any Sesko deal.
Ty, go ahead. You were still speaking.
Bobby just alluded to one of the reasons, but I'll just expand on what he said. I would say I don't want to see Benjamin Sesko at the club because, for one, he's very young, and I get that the project is to build for the future. But we're trying to find a solution to our goal scoring issues, and Sesko is going to struggle in the Premier League. If you look at the way that he plays, yes, he's on paper, quote unquote, play across the front line, but he's going to struggle because he's still young. And I would argue that he's a bit raw as well. I mean, the stats that he's had is good, and that's fair enough to him, but he's going to struggle. I would also say that in terms of Usman, I am concerned, as Bobby would have mentioned, about if he'll be able to make it in the Premier League, at least at the age that he's at and where he is in his development, because And you'd probably say the same as well, coach, about for probably a different reason. But I do have my concerns, and this isn't me saying that I want Tony because of what he did today or whatever. That is definitely not what I'm saying. But if there's a way for you to find a solution that will perhaps work for the club and will actually benefit the club, then do that. But I don't think Benjamin Sesko will rectify the issues that we clearly have in terms of having somebody that will make the choices in the final third that will benefit the club and to ensure that we get goals and we can outscore our opponents. So I don't think Benjamin Sesko should come to Chelsea.
Mhm. How about you, Phil? What do you think? By the way,
Uh,
this the report isn't saying that we're interested in signing him. I think X Chelsea fans went crazy on X once they heard that he has just 50 million euros release clause on his current contract. I haven't seen any report that suggests we're interested in signing him. That was in the past. But let's say you feel.
uh, I think I agree with Ty and Bobby because basically he's just a younger player, and we have many of those already. We have Jackson, we have Washington, who is not even getting the minutes, and we even have other younger players as well. So bringing him is going to struggle more than what other players are actually doing whenever they come to the Premier League. So I would rather prefer someone like an Osimhen, who is going to do much better because he has a bit of more experience compared to, let's say, a Sesko, because Osimhen has actually played in a bigger league compared to Sesko. Because you look at Sesko, he's not even starting right now for Leipzig. And bringing him when he's not even starting, I don't think that's the solution to our goal scoring problem, which we have right now. So I don't think he's the solution.
Hmm. Right, I think I have to agree with you. Let's see what I say. I brought up the fact that he's in starting, but maybe there's a talent in him for a reason. Maybe they have. I'm not too sure. Maybe getting him would be. You could say it would be more of an investment than him helping us to solving the problem right now. I brought up the conversation conversion rate. Yeah, I wanted to know why of the two greatest goal scorers. Yep, greatest of all times. To show Chelsea fans like a Tiger, who always claims high standards, that missing more than 50% of your chances, that 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 guys like Jackson and Osimhen is normal. Okay, I think I understand where you're coming from there. Keep dropping the likes on your on the stream, people. The likes to go along with YouTube would convince me if Sesko is a good player. But if we sign him, let's hope for the best. That's another way to see it. I don't pay too much attention to the fact that he's not they're starting a striker right now. We don't know. It could be you can say Heston. Reason why I don't judge players because they aren't starting or not. Usually I pay attention to how much we're paying for a particular player. If they're not starting or sitting at the bench. Why? I often like to use, I always like to use the case of Antonio Rudiger as a prime example. He was not, he didn't do that well under Frank Lampard. Thomas Tuchel comes in, boom, he turned out to be one of our best defenders at the time and helped us win the Champions League and everything we won under Thomas Tuchel. He was pivotal to Thomas Tuchel doing as well as he did. So, in terms of players, as long as there's a good player in that player, sitting on the bench doesn't mean that they are bad. Chances are a change of manager and boom, he'd be the best player in the world. You never know. Ty doesn't wait words. You see what I did there to render this particular comment useless. I know you're smart enough to catch that. They chilled together. Kishan, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join. Fact, Ty, I can't. This man balls at Chelsea. You cannot see him balling at Chelsea. Ty, you have some magnetic device or mobile phone. Okay, he should be seeing that himself. Sesko, he might get injured again. Is he out injured? Was that why he's not been starting? I don't know. Under the team we have, Sesko will struggle to adapt. Okay. Let's see anything else we have here. We need to sign elite players now. No more young breds, but let's see what the club does. Signs are the core of the project is signing young players. And do I think they mix it with experience? Maybe. I'm not too sure, really. I've argued before, chances are they've learned probably that we need experience to be even better. But there's no way to tell that will be the case. But we'll find out. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. We don't have anything else here to discuss. If not, we'll end the show. No need sitting here and you can say it's not doing anything. But if you have any questions, drop it in the chat so we can try to answer your questions there. Bobby, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day? All right, while we wait for Bobby and saying first Jackson should go. I don't even like him. And also Broja, we need two strikers. I don't think let's start with one. If we can get one, I'd take it. I saw some Gallagher rumors. Like what we haven't seen. The last time I read something about his future was one that said that he doesn't want to leave Chelsea in January, and I believe that, and that's just me anyway. You have every right to think that he will be sold, and like some believe that the return of Cesare Casadei means that he'd be sold, and I think otherwise. And I've explained why I don't think it'd be sold. That's because they differ. They're not the same profile. I don't know how else to phrase it. Bobby, anything else you want to talk about? Anybody else on the panel or in the chat before we call it a day? Nothing else has emerged. Except one thing, and I forgot to read it out. Just give me 1 second here. One thing I think about Amanda Broja. Let's look at it quickly. Yep, one thing here which says that Todd Bowley and Chelsea transfer chiefs are prepared to loan a striker Amanda Broja now, just as long as there's a 35 million selling in the summer. Yep, that's one player you tell me the chance there's a high chance he leaves this general transfer window now. Say yes. But Conor Gallagher, for reasons I've explained, I don't see him leaving this January. If that's it from you guys on the panel, I'm okay with it. I think we've had a great show, good conversation, good contributions from those in the chat and on the panel. So I want to say thank you to Phil Sips. Phil, anything else you want to talk about? Or that's it for you. All right. Thank you to Phil. Thank you to Bobby. Thank you to Ty. Thank you to Maya. Yep, Broja needs a loan. I agree with you. He's linked to Tottenham. Let's see what happens. It says, the coach, you might lose that $50. If I lose it, I won't cry over it. Believe me. But we need a striker to replace him. Let's find out. Maya, thank you. And the Blue Tiff again, thank you so much, Maya. I appreciate you joining. And JC, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Keyshawn, thank you so much to all of you. And who else? Nemaya from Wale and Tiba Saliba. And if I miss your name, Jaka also, thank you so much. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all and cheers.
Thank you.